Today, we're talking about a hill you die on, or in other words, what is your passion? How might we define this kind of passion?
When I say passionate about it, passion for me is an importance where I deliberately make sure that those things happen in my life.
What are the concerns about being passionate? Is it always a good thing? Are there hills you shouldn't die on?
Adolf Hitler was passionate. Joseph Stalin was passionate. And their passion was used to exterminate millions of people. And so absolutely, passion can lend itself to the evil side and be passionate about something that's completely morally, ethically wrong.
Join us to hear thoughts on these questions and so many more today on Faith on Tap. We are at Clocktown Brewing in Thomaston, Connecticut. This is a place that we frequent from time to time. It's a very popular place.
Very, very much so.
Almost too popular because it can be very noisy. And a lot of times I don't even go here because it's so loud.
It is definitely echoey here.
This is not that bad today, considering the beers of choice today. It's called Chocolate Factory Stout, right?
Yes, very good.
It's actually good.
It is very good. One of the better ones we've had in our tour.
Yeah, no, this is your third pitcher, right, Liz? I've only had one.
You don't know me.
Yeah, and she really likes it, by the way, as you can tell. It's a chocolate stout that's not sweet, which is I like.
It tastes almost like coffee rather than chocolate.
Like a mocha stout almost.
Yeah,
but
it's very, very good.
And Dennis, you're imbibing in what?
I am enjoying this evening When Pigs Fly, which is a New England IPA.
Yeah, for the people who are not in New England, can you explain what a New England IPA is?
Well, you have to be in New England to have a New England IPA.
So you don't know.
So it's New Englandy in the sense of being in New England.
This sounds like one of your sermons, Dennis.
And hazy. Yes.
Meandering.
Your mouth moves, but I can't hear what you're saying.
Rabbit Trail. I don't know what a New England IPA is, actually. It tastes good.
Well, today's topic, we've talked about this quite a bit. We settled on what is something in your life that you're so passionate about that you would defend. I'm not sure what to expect. I know that in the Northeast, we don't have a lot of passionate people about things. They're mostly disinterested in life in general, but I'm hoping to get something from people. What are your thoughts on what people are going to be passionate about?
I think we're going to get a few glib, funny answers. I'm passionate about this beer or whatever, but hopefully then they'll settle down and they'll give something that passionate about family, or they'll go in that direction.
Yeah. Looking around the room, I'm not sure what to expect on that one. We do have a passionless society at times, but I have to agree with Liz. I think we're going to get the superficial, I love this beer, or I'm passionate about whatever, Friday nights.
Yeah. We might get some people who are passionate about politics. Probably won't get, hopefully get some in politics.
So. There's lots to be passionate about. Considering what's been going on in the past year, there has to be some passion out here. Maybe, I believe it.
There'll be any passion on religion today?
It'll be interesting. I don't know. If it's common to find passion about religion in a bar.
Yeah, that's my question. Passionate about sports. Sports team.
Sports, politics, yeah. Religion,
yeah.
We'll see.
Let's give it a whirl. Let's see what happens.
Hey, your name is, sir?
My name is Stu.
Stu. Good to meet you, Stu. I'm Dennis.
Dennis.
The first question is this. What are you passionate about to the point where you're willing to die on that hill?
Yeah, my family.
Family?
Of course.
And how so?
Of course. You got to love your family.
Mm-hmm.
I love my family more than I love anything else. So if I'm going to give it up for anything, it's going to be my family.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to move on and survive. If it's going to be anything, it's going to be me that goes down. That's an interesting question.
Now, do you have a big family?
Yeah, my wife and 3 kids.
3 kids, and any grandkids? No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Are your kids married?
None of them are married.
So
they're all the marrying age. And they're all with significant others.
And do you approve of those others and their families?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
And those are hills that you're willing to die on even for those families?
Some of them I don't know well enough, but, if my kids are involved, I'd say sure.
What makes this connection with your family for you? Where is that, the foundation of that?
So you're saying you travel to breweries and do this kind of thing. Must be interesting late at night when you're in here doing this kind of stuff.
Breweries close kind of around 9 or 10. So what is it in you that prioritizes your family where you're so passionate about them that they're a hill you're willing to die on?
Wow. I think it's more instinctual. I think it's more of a protective.
So strictly biological.
Not strictly. No,
That's what I was told when I first met
baiting up these questions here, aren't you, man?
You want to go?
Yes.
All right. And what's your name?
My name's Denise.
Denise, how are you this evening?
Good, thanks.
Okay. The first question, Denise, is this. What are you so passionate about that you're willing to die on that hill?
Wildlife rescue.
Wildlife rescue. Why?
Because I feel like humans are destroying the environment.
Mm-hmm.
So I think by doing wildlife rescue, I can hopefully help balance the scale a little bit.
Are you in wildlife rescue right now?
I am.
You are. And what do you do?
Well, a licensed rehabilitator for...
Really?
Yeah.
For state of Connecticut?
Yeah. So I just want to... Humans are destroying the environment. So maybe I could do a little bit to bring the balance back.
Mm-hmm. And that's a hill you're willing to die on to rescue wildlife and reestablish them in their wherever they're from.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Where does that come from? Have you always liked animals? Or
Yeah, I always loved animals.
What's your name, first?
Steve.
What is something that you're so passionate about that you defend it?
I don't know, freedom of speech.
Why is that important to you?
Because we live in America and it is a constitutional right, to say the least. And it's important to say what you voice in your mind.
Have you always felt this way? Is this a new thing? You born with this?
I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. It's yeah.
So what if I came up to you and said, well, I don't believe in the freedom of speech? How would you react or how would you defend yourself?
Hey, that's your freedom of speech right there.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah,
Okay,
you sound like my boss right now.
Let me do this. Let's play it this way. What if I said, I don't like the way you say that. I don't want you saying that. It offends me.
I don't know how it could offend you if I don't say anything either.
Well,
yeah, I don't.
Freedom of speech, you said you're allowed to say things.
Yeah, you're allowed to say anything.
What if I disagree with what you say? How would you respond to me?
I said that is your opinion and you're free to have it.
And you're free to have the opinion you have.
Exactly.
Okay, that's fine.
Hi, I'm Liz. How are you?
Hello.
What's your name?
Nova.
What is something that you're truly passionate about and would actually argue about enough because you believe in it that much?
Music, because I am one of those people that can't go without sound. I get in the car, the first thing I do is I put on my playlist. Music, it gets you in the mood for whatever you need to do. Clean the house, clean the house playlist. You're in the feels, you're going through a breakup, you listen to breakup music.
For sure.
It really influences your emotions and it can influence your actions too.
So you have a playlist for this. So what is your, I'm cleaning the house. What's on your playlist there? I'm interested. This
Clean the house. I listen to a lot of K-pop. Stuff like that.
Okay,
That's-
zero
yeah.
knowledge of K-pop other than I know it exists.
It's a lot of...
So is it like the high energy?
Yes, the high energy stuff.
And the basic, it seems like it's generally happy music.
Very much.
Okay.
First thing in the morning, you're making breakfast. I like the old goodies songs, like "Build Me Up, Buttercup, Baby, to Let Me Down," like that kind of stuff. And then you have, you know,
got it, yeah.
That's the kind of music for you making pancakes. Wake up in the morning.
I love this. So this is something you believe in. So if someone says no,
I would say,
you're talking through your hat, woman.
why else would music be used in movies? Like, they use music in movies to influence the mood of what you're watching and to give you context into what you're seeing going on. Like, music plays such a big
Can you
role.
name a movie that you feel has done this exceptionally well?
All of them do it really well. I'd say one of the ones that cry at all movies, the Disney movie Home with the aliens. At the very end, there's that song with Rihanna singing. It just, you hear it in the background and it makes you cry even more.
Okay, fair enough. I think Disney actually kind of owns the market on a lot of making the music part of the story.
Very true.
If I can make a recommendation for a movie that does this unbelievably well, it's the movie Baby Driver.
I saw Baby Driver. I really liked it.
It kind of blew me away. It was like the music
Yes.
was like a character in the movie,
Very much.
which astonished me. I've never seen a movie do that. So people out there, the four of you that are listening still, there's some good movies to really lean into the music.
What's your name?
My name is Krista.
And Krista, your job here is?
I am a server here at Clocktown.
There you go. We already talked about it before. We had the beer and all, so we enjoyed it. Here's a question for you.
Sure.
What is something that you're very passionate about that you'd actually want to defend?
It's more of how the universe brings forth things for me, where a lot of people would say, no, it's not the universe, it's God, or, their own personal religion or something like that. I don't find myself defending it. It's just what I believe.
Why do you believe that?
Experience.
Can you give me examples?
Just by believing in things that can happen for me, and with perseverance and tenacity, I think that it manifests itself, and I totally believe that the universe can do that for me.
So because you have tenacity, the universe respects that tenacity and will answer your...
I would believe so. And, other people could say the same thing about their God or whomever they worship, but I just happen to believe in the universe.
And what would be the difference between God and believing the universe? What's the difference to you?
It's just a higher power,
So you call it the
whatever you want to call.
So you would say your God the universe.
Sure.
Okay,
Sure.
And the universe is personal to you. The universe cares about you.
Yeah.
And watches you.
I believe so.
Loves you?
Absolutely.
And can you give a specific story about that, or or feeling? It doesn't have to be a true story, like a feeling that you get, or when this happens, I feel this way.
Just knowing that positivity breeds positivity and negativity breeds negativity is kind of the story. I know that in my personal life, if I went through quite a few hard times in my life, and I always had an optimistic view, and I think that pulled me through a lot of those hard times.
Okay.
And I was with somebody who was very negative. He wasn't able to pull through, that's just what I believe.
So you're not saying, or maybe you are saying, that the universe physically helps you or just intercedes for you? Or are you saying that basically because you have that personality that the universe gave you, then you're able to take that positivity and work with that?
I think a little bit of everything that you just said.
All right.
The universe or whomever gave me my personality and kind of run with it.
That's awesome. No, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So, Liz, what's new?
What's new is I just found out my hair has more personality than I do. It made its own decision to go with the Einstein look today.
Okay. And on my left, we have instead of Dennis, we have the Chancellor of Charity.
Ooh, that's something that I would like to, no.
No, almost. You were this close.
Turn on that quick.
No, at charity. I try to be charitable, but I don't know if I'm a chancellor.
Well, the question we're asking, what are some beliefs that you had that you're most passionate about defending? And going in, that pretty much, I think, where we started, what we thought we got. I was not expecting a lot of depth from some of the people. Some of the people had some interesting thoughts. Before we go in depth on any particular one, is there anything that stuck out as the overall umbrella of how the question went? Did people answered it fairly, or do you think they're reserved? They're holding something back?
I don't think they were holding anything back. I was actually pleasantly surprised. It seemed like people actually enjoyed the question, and they really had things that they felt needed to be said. We mentioned in last episode, they felt heard. I thought that was really kind of cool. We kind of went in with preamble. We'd set our minds a little negative, and then I think the people rose to the challenge and correctly showed some real spark there. I thought it was nice.
Yeah, I mean, the freedom of speech, I thought that was a little cliche, maybe.
You didn't have a lot to back up the thoughts.
No, but I was intrigued with Nova, the girl that you spoke to, and her passion for music or sound, telling the story. Whoa, microphone drop right there.
She was an absolute delight. I love talking to her.
Oh, yeah, she was saying that she has like a soundtrack for things. And I think I kind of do. I think we might all have. If music's not playing, there's a song in my head that should be playing.
We all have soundtracks to our life.
It changes as you go through stuff. The music you choose to support different parts of your life changes, but
I will say I've never listened to K-pop, and that was Nova's go-to.
Yeah. I mean, I have listened to it on occasion. I don't get it. I just don't understand it. But
Well, it's Korean, isn't it?
that's number one.
Okay.
Hence the K.
Yeah.
So it would be tough to understand Korean if you've never studied Korean.
And yeah, if it's the feel, the music, bless her. That's great.
And she's passionate about it, which is
Yeah, which is what you like.
And she was a young woman. I have no idea exactly how old. To have a passion about anything, I think, is exciting to see in young people. I was just delighted to talk with her.
We talked to the waitress, she called herself the server, who Krista mentioned that she's passionate about the universe and its influence on her life. She believed the universe was personal, loving. When she put energy into something, it benefited herself, like the universe responded in kind. It was very unique. When I'm asking questions, and she kept on, well, some people say it was God. This is not the first time we've heard talk like the universe as a whole. To me, it just draws so many questions. Like, and when I ask people, like, what evidence do you have that the universe itself is doing that? Well, I just feel it. Again, Christians could say the same things. Some Christians will say, well, I just know. Well, why do you know? That's a topic for another time. Every attribute that she was given the universe was a true attribute of God.
Right. And then she made the claim, some people bring God and or religion into it. You just did. Yeah. You described God. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
She just described her religion as well, the religion of the universe. Again, she's a very nice person, and I think she truly
awesome.
She believed it. These are the things that we need to pray for when we're done. When we have these talks with people, my heart goes out. It's like, you're close. You're so close. One of our hopes in this podcast is when we talk to these people that they go home and start thinking about what they said and maybe start reflecting a little bit deeper.
Stu was the outspoken guy out of 3 at the corner of the bar. I had a little PTSD going to the corner of the bar because last time that happened was less than a favorable interview.
He got shut down pretty quick.
Yeah. But Stu's passionate about family. He's passionate about his wife, his 3 kids, their significant others, though none are married yet. Probing it a little deeper, that simple and yet that deep.
I didn't get the depth. What person is not passionate about their family?
All the people that haven't had or have had a horrible experience with family. I think there's more out there than we continue.
Right, but point well taken. As a father, aren't you going to be passionate about your family? Unless you're a horrible person, you're going to be passionate about your family.
Well, passion, I guess, it could be very subjective.
Well, we're going to talk about that.
Oh, okay. Well, then.
Any other thoughts on the people you interviewed?
Stu, though he expressed passion, didn't really, his delivery, little less than passionate.
Was that because of the setting, maybe?
Maybe. Or maybe he had a buzz on because he was sitting in a bar or something like that.
His friends were scrutinizing him pretty hard, too.
I felt that he was a little Job-esque. He had the friends of Job.
The friends of Job, yes. Friends indeed.
So I guess a quintessential question I can ask you guys is, what are your passions?
I want to set aside things from scripture because I think that's a no-brainer as far as the 3 of us are concerned. Mm-hmm. Things I would definitely, and you've heard me go on tirades over some of these things, the idea that art has to be permanent, I find annoying. I don't think art is necessarily meant to be permanent, and a lot of art is meant to be temporary on purpose.
For examples?
Sandcastles. Wedding cakes.
Which people may not know if you follow Mark and Liz on Facebook. They have multiple pictures of family vacations with amazing sandcastles built in the sand, and then pictures of them watching it just wash away.
It's so much fun. We build it and then we move like 30 feet away and just watch. And everyone goes by and everyone gets excited and then they take pictures and then the waves come. It's just really, really fun to watch people interact with something that's not going to be there in the morning. So you had that momentary interaction with something. And I think that's really cool. Mark has definitely heard me go on about that. I make soap and soap.
No one else listens to the podcast.
Nobody else listens to. So, I make soap and everyone goes, oh, it's too pretty to use. And I'm like,
that's kind of correct, though.
Why are you buying? Just use it. There's more.
Anything else besides the art being...
Other things I'm passionate about is the word often.
I think I got you on that kick.
I cannot stand
every
it when
time I
people
hear someone say...
Often.
Often.
The both of us go often.
Yeah, well, the dictionary accepts both. That's only because people made so many mistakes saying often that they say, we give up. Because I asked them, okay, well, how would you say the letters S-O-F-T-E-N? Soften?
Soften.
No, it's soften. And it's often. Case closed.
Exactly. I agree with that.
So you're very specific. A certain word, you're passionate about people saying a certain word wrong.
It also really, really annoys me when people just leave shopping carts out in the middle of nowhere.
So these sounds like more like pet peeves than they are passions. These are
Maybe.
No,
Okay, so the art one is definitely a passion.
No, I think the shopping carriage is a passion. There's two kinds of people: the people that put their carriage away and the people that don't. That's Matt Walsh. He's the philosopher, Matt Walsh.
Matthew Walsh. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So Dennis, besides the shopping carts, do you have any deep passions?
Yeah, I think I've always had a passion for music and guitar, and that passion has ebbed and flowed over the last 35, 40 years. Right now, it's in definitely a flow mode. I believe I'm passionate about being outdoors and being able to hike and being in the woods and being able to trail run and just have that decompression time. That's really important. And when I say passionate about it, passion for me is an importance where I deliberately make sure that those things happen in my life. Those are just two of them.
I didn't realize just now, but when I'm going over my passions, it's like I have a whole lot. I guess because I'm an intense person, that brings a passion to me. But like the connection between science and Christianity, I know we weren't supposed to bring Christianity into it, but that connected with science, gardening, permaculture, freedom, personal freedoms I'm very passionate about that. Weather, very passionate about that. Homesteading as a whole, music appreciation. I just go on and in my passion, I mean, they're a significant part of my life and I don't want to do without those. And a part of me would be missing if I didn't have that. I don't know. How does one measure passion?
I think that it's a very subjective measurement. My daughter is very different from my son. My daughter is more introverted, kind of reserved, where my son is way more extroverted and less reserved. Their passions express themselves in different ways because of their personality. And so for me to judge by their expression of what I deem to be passion, it could be a wrong interpretation of where they are.
Absolutely. But you're saying that she is passionate. How do you know that she's passionate?
I've seen her when she puts her nose to the grindstone to get something done, where being passionate about something doesn't have to be a lifelong pursuit. You can be passionate in this season. You can be passionate with this project. You can be passionate. I've seen her attributes of when she's determined to get something done, she gets it done.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's subjective. That's pretty objective. You're just saying that people express their passions differently.
Yes.
But they can still be passionate and be more reserved with their passion, but they're still passionate.
Right. And so to measure, well, they're not very passionate. Well, because they're not woohoo and cheerleading.
Well, that's how you measured it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's where the subjectivity comes in, is when we begin to measure someone's passion over something.
Is there a way to objectively measure someone's passion?
I think so.
Okay. How would you do it?
What are you excited about? You can talk about something really well and your life is contrary to that. What do you spend your time doing? What are you engaged in? What's the vision for your life? What's the message you want to get across?
From the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks, right?
There you go. I think those are ways to measure passion, but I think you have to be very deliberate in engaging with that and ask very pointed questions. There are supposedly objective measures of passion on a scale, questions asked and things like that. I'm not sure how accurate those things are.
Here's something. Didn't want to actually share this because this is something I wanted to do for my birthday. It's kind of funny.
I got to write this down, I think.
I'll still do it because I think it's an awesome idea. For my birthday, I'm going to request that everyone makes a 5-minute PowerPoint presentation on anything that they want to. And that includes my grandkids. Everybody has to do a 5-minute presentation. And I don't care as long as they're excited about it. I told our daughter Laura about that a few months ago, and I think she's been thinking about it. But I'm definitely going to share that because I want to see what everyone does and very curious what everyone chooses for their 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's cool.
Now, a bit of a social experiment within the family.
I'm really excited about it.
I do recall when we went on a hike once and there was a guy giving tours about bird watching. And I was like, whatever. Liz is into birds. I don't really care. And we're in the woods and the guy's going, woo, woo, woo. You hear that? That's a yellow-bellied sapsucker. And I go, and then after a while, I'm downloading apps and I'm listening and I'm hearing his passion wore off on me, and something I was not passionate about just brushed off on me. And I thought that was really super.
For anyone who wants to join into that, we have an awesome, it's free app for birds. It is called the Merlin Bird ID. It is absolutely phenomenal. We'll link it in the show notes, but it is an absolutely wonderful app.
You go out in the morning, and like I do, go out in the morning with a cup of coffee, and I'll put the app, and you hear the birds and it tells you what bird it is. And it's
Here
always-
in little downtown Terryville, we
need
got
that.
in one summer over 50 species.
we wrote them down.
We wrote them down. We made an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
We're not nerds.
No, not at all.
So that means I have to step up my bird feeder game now with this app when I sit and watch.
It's
Yeah.
so much fun.
It is fun, yeah. So do you think a person's passion wanes as they get older?
It could. I think passion is like a fire. You have to keep a little bit of oxygen on the flame. You have to keep it moving.
What would you say about a newborn Christian who's on fire versus a seasoned Christian? Do you think that person's less passionate?
Well, when you say seasoned Christian, I am envisioning someone who has been pressing in for umpteen dozen years,
Sure.
who's been reading the scripture, who's been involved in the community of the church, who's been studying the Bible. So I'm going to say no in that context expresses itself a little bit differently.
Right.
And I think that's where, you might look at the old person and say, well, yeah, they're kind of old and tired. But that's where passion begins. It begins in the heart. Their heart for what they've always been passionate about remains on fire.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's like, it's the excitement of that when you fall in love for the first time. It doesn't mean you're less passionate 40 years down the road because you're used to your partner. In fact, you should be more passionate. You just express it differently, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
I use my big googly eyes.
Yes, and they work every time. They do. I mean, I was thinking, I'm not going to go in the bad story, but during 5 years now, 5 years ago, I was very passionate during the COVID time. My life was turned upside down because of that. That was something I just remember. I was how passionate I was, and had secret meetings in rooms. So I was outcasted by society then.
Rightly so.
We get like sports and stuff like that. It's more, there's a tribal passion that we get. We're tribal over family, of course, sports, religion, but some people are passionate about denominations. My denomination is better than yours. And I guess we have the fear of when your passions become prideful. I think that's when we, as Christians, we can be passionate, almost blinded, and not see someone else's point of view. I'm not sure if you agree with that. I just made that up. So it's not in the show notes. I know that sometimes passion can intimidate people.
Adolf Hitler was passionate. Joseph Stalin was passionate, and their passion was used to exterminate millions of people. And so absolutely, passion can lend itself to the evil side and be passionate about something that's completely morally, ethically wrong.
I think most great inventions were due to people who are passionate about it, just about everything. I can't say someone.
And great art.
I mean, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's all passionate people there.
Yeah. One of my favorite paintings is called Guernica by Pablo Picasso. And he painted it in like 3 days. And it's a painting. It's a very, very powerful painting about war. It's just extraordinary. The passion that he was experiencing, the anguish he went through is so apparent in the painting.
So I don't know. Do you think most people consider themselves passionate people? Not to delve into this. Are you a passionate person? Do you think most people say yes or no?
I absolutely think that people would think it's something that people would aspire to be and hope to be and imagine themselves to be, and which is great.
I think
And
demographic would have to play a part in that.
In what way?
Well, I think younger people consider themselves more passionate about what they're passionate around, whether it be school, social justice issues, whatever. Your 20-somethings, your 30-somethings would express that they're more passionate about X, Y, and Z than, say, the 70, 80-year-olds who may be like, hey, I'm coasting.
Wait till your passions get dashed or something.
Yeah. When it all goes to hell.
All right, that's a wrap. Have a good night. Tune in next episode when you'll hear Dennis say,
Hopefully your dog walking business takes off and you change the world.